Welcome back, Nick Lenz. Comic Corner Classics that's non-classic. This is episode number 933 and Doubleshot number 827. I have two trades from the series Stormwatch. Yep, and this is from the New 52 era. Those who know what Stormwatch is, it was a comic book originally started back in 1990s by Jim Lee and Brandon Coley. Yeah, the same two people who created Gen 13. Yep. Stormwatch is simply put in the original universe, but when I've been reading about it, I read a good majority of Stormwatch comics, where they were simply put an organization that worked for the UN that basically they're kind of treated as Wild's version of the Justice League in a way, but their top members are Apollo and Midnighter. Basically, it's Wildstorm answer to Superman, Batman, if they were freaking gay. Yep. First up, we're going to talk about the third and fourth volumes because I couldn't find the first two. So let's start first with Volume 3, Betrayal, collecting issues 13 to 18 of Stormwatch Volume 3, Issue 0 in the store for Young Romance. Issue 0 is just basically a backstory of the character Jenny Spark, a Century Baby. Interesting little standalone story. Then we have storyline, and we also have appearances in here. Yeah. And then we have a storyline. Let's see what comes next. Then we have the Young Romance story. It's just basically a story where it just deals with a possible romance between Apollo and Midnighter, which does loosely develop the course of the whole thing. Yep. Then we have two major storylines here. One involving Stormwatch taking out Etrigan the Demon. Yep. One comic he appears in where it's not Demon Knights. Yeah, it also shown off in the book in issue 0 that Stormwatch is basically the modern day equivalent of Demon Knights. Those who know what Demon Knights are, they were a very good series published by DC. I believe Peter Mulligan wrote the series, and it's basically a bunch of knights who are kind of like the medieval version of the Justice League in a way. Well, also, they have a loose connection to Justice League Dark. Yeah, because one of his members, Madame Xanadu, was a member of Justice League Dark. Yeah, very interesting few issues, and then the rest of the issues is basically where Midnight apparently betrays Stormwatch, and we also see the return of one particular character, O.M.A.C, making his first appearance in Justice League International A #1. Yeah, I kind of forgot he showed up in here because it's been a while since I saw Stormwatch, because I kind of assumed like after he appeared in Justice League #1, International #1, that his next appearance was Suicide Squad. Nope, it wasn't here for this storyline. And after this, then he appears in Suicide Squad. Yeah, his part in this thing doesn't really amount to much. It's a minor role, but there's that. Yeah, it turns out he was actually framed for what he was doing, and he got back to Stormwatch anyways. Oh, I should point out though the logo. Once I show up Volume 4, you probably notice, oh, man, that logo is different. This is, of course, the logo for Volume 3. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's quite interesting. Next up, we have a really thick one, Stormwatch Volume 4 Reset. Yes, the logo is back to the classic Stormwatch logo. And the characters are wearing their classic attires. Yep, with this new universe, we have the Stormwatch characters, well, a few of them go back to their Wildstorm looks. Oh, I should point out that Peter Mulligan wrote this with artwork by, let's see if I can find it here, Will Conrad, Cliff Richards, Simon Bosley, who writes the Young Romance story, who actually also wrote the story, Ever Peace, and Julia Ferrer. Yeah, the cover right here is done by Will Conrad and Gabe Ekebut, I think that's the person's name. Yeah. This one here is done by Jim Starlin. Yep, this collects issues 19 to 30, and Starlin only does issues 19 to 29. 30 is done by Sterling Gates. Yep. Now, with this particular storyline, we have the Stormwatch getting a reset. Yeah, everything happened before the first 18 issues, all completely ignored because of an alternate reality. Yeah, it's really the final issue that they were in a parallel universe for 2 weeks. Yep. Oh, and also, we also have Apollo and Midnighter, where going back to their pre-Flashpoint costumes. Now, those of you see Midnighter's costume here, like, man, this looks like a similar outfit he wore when he showed up in the pages of Grayson. And you're right, it's pretty much the same outfit. as for why he wears his outfit and not the outfit he was wearing throughout the series when he shows up in Grayson, unknown. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also I should point out though the base operations in these set of issues was called Eye of the Storm. Here with this new one, it's called because they changed reality, and their new base operations is called, let's see here. Let's see if I can find the name of it. It's basically a ship. Yeah. And this basically is the base operations for a majority of these issues until they show up until they go back to the proper universe issue 30, and the Eye of the Storm is renamed the Carrier, which by the way, this Carrier does reappear in Savage Dawn. I will talk about a little bit of that soon. We also see the return of Lobo in these issues. Yep, Lobo making his first appearance in the pages of Deathstroke. Yep, this was his next appearance. And after this, he showed up right in the Outlaws. Yeah, it's just basically Stormwatch's time in this universe. It's interesting of issues. And of course, last issue you have characters going back to the regular universe. Though I think that, as far as I can tell, Midnighter keeps his look he got in here. Well, his pre-Flashpoint look. And then, of course, you also see appearance in a couple issues of Martian Manhunter. I kind of forgot he showed up in these issues after issue 12 because here's the thing. He actually left the book with issue 12. And when he showed up, it was quite surprising he showed up in the book, roughly almost 2 years after he left the book. He shows up here for a couple issues with Hawkman of all people. And this kind of is taking place before the events of Trinity War. I would probably say his appearance in here, along with Hawkman, is probably just after the first arc of Just Like America. Yep. Because here's the thing, when these came out, when they show up in here, this is basically not long after Hawkman and Saga got canceled, and of course you have Just Like America at this point, and Trinity War was going on. Yep. But, good set of issues. Interesting Lobo pop-up in here. It's not in the Lobo Ultimate Universe, but it's quite interesting. And great, though, for the final trade, they put the classic logo on here. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Now, here's kind of the strange thing about this particular group. Stormwatch technically disappeared from DC Comics, with the exception of their appearance in the pages of Savage Dawn. That was the return. Midnight, on the other hand, he would return after this. After the series got canceled, he popped up the pages of Grayson. As for why Tom King and Tim Seeley thought we got to put him in there, he did. And he appears in there for basically the first 8 issues, and including the end, he did miss 1 issue. And then he gets his own ongoing series by Steve Orlando, which gets canceled, the 12 issues, and he pops up in the Apollo Midnighter mini-series, which is the fall of 2 Midnighter. And he also popped up in the pages of Batman Robin Eternal. And that's it. That's all he's done since the ending of this series. Apollo pops up as a recurring character in the pages of Midnighter. And of course, popping up in Apollo Midnighter, obviously. And that's it. That's all I did with the character. Now, Stormwatch himself would technically appear in New 52 Futures End, but there's a slight problem. New 52 Futures End, set in alternate universe, so it doesn't count. So technically Stormwatch's next appearance would be in Savage Dawn, which comes roughly 2 years after this. Yeah, weird storyline, and not a very good one. Yeah. Though the ending was cool, but the story itself basically was a bit it was actually not that good of a storyline. Yeah. I know my friend Tippy hates that storyline. Yeah, it's one of his least favorite Superman storylines of all time, along with sort of Doomed, and The Truth. I'm not sure how he feels with the story on Hell on Earth. I have no idea. Or even Krypton Returns, and that storyline, terrible artwork from what I heard. It's been a while since I've read that particular storyline. Yeah. It's kind of interesting, though, that Stormwatch, who played an integral part in Futures End, and they don't get a Futures End one-shot, but yet Booster Gold does. Does that make any sense to anybody? Not to me, it doesn't. Yep, I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. I like the Gem Star issues. They're quite interesting. But not much to home about when it comes to Stormwatch. But, yeah. First time ever anything related to Stormwatch. Yeah, I read some of Stormwatch. I haven't read everything of it, but I read a good majority of the series. And I do like the series. I read The Authority, which is meant to be a replacement for Stormwatch. Yeah, every time a Stormwatch volume ended, it got replaced by The Authority. in some way. There was also a brief period of time when Wildstorm was an imprint for DC Comics, and he had Authority published at the same time as a Stormwatch book. Yep. Though in the case of the Authority, that was more of a violent version of Stormwatch. That was done by Mark Millar. Yeah. He also had the last issue of the first volume of Authority where Polymander actually got married. Oh, and the engineer? Yeah, I think it next on engineer, Jenny Spark. That's actually their adopted daughter. Yep, they adopted her. Yep. So not much else to say about Stormwatch, but my next comic I'm going to talk about is one trade for Daredevil and another Stormwatch trade, which is something that came out from the Wildstorm imprint. I will talk about that in my next comic corner. I have roughly 2 more videos I'm hoping to do today, if I get time to. Yep, that's if I get time to. I might get time to do maybe one more today before I go down to Tampa. I might do the other one probably tomorrow. You'll find out what it is later. It could be either Black Clover or Fairy Tail, depends on what my mood is, okay? But do you see you on my next review? Bye.